Hey everybody, welcome back into Pritch's Get Stitches. Glad you're here. Glad you found us. Holly, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. I'm tired. It's early here. Daylight savings came, and now I'm 5 hours behind you guys instead of 4. So the sacrifices I make so that we can record this for our
the sacrifices
followers. Yeah,
yes.
Sacrifices.
Good job, followers.
Faithful 3.
Yeah, one of them's here with us. One of the 3 is here. He watches every week. So proud of his children. Pops, welcome to the show.
We've been talking about bringing Daddy on for 2 seasons. Here he is.
Well, I mean, between doctor's appointments and breaking his arm, I mean,
well, I just
not
came
a lot of time.
I just came here from a doctor's appointment. All I ever did.
I figured.
To be my age, that's all there is in life.
How old are you now?
At
58?
my age, I feel like.
I'll be 80 in August.
Woo!
Shoot.
You're almost dead, Dad.
Guy in the VA told me it didn't sound over 65.
Your voice or your heart? What didn't sound over 65?
My voice. I was talking to him on the phone.
Okay, just making sure.
All right. Well, you're definitely older than 65. I can assure you that. Love you, Pops, but in your own words, you got 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on a banana peel.
Absolutely. Not quite that bad, but I'm afraid somebody's come and push me in.
I have a feeling it's going to say, somebody's going to come to me and they're going to say, you know, not to kill you off, Dad, but, you know, when you die, somebody's going to come to me and they're going to say, how did your dad die? And what would you want my response to be?
He just quit breathing. Heart stop.
That's it.
Heart stop beating.
Quit breathing.
How'd he die? His heart stopped beating. I mean, I'm a kid. I'm like 10 years old. I'm like, you're like, so-and-so died. I'm like, oh my goodness, how'd they die? You're like, his heart stopped beating. Just straight face, like, moved on with your life, kept cooking, taco meat. I'm like, okay. Like, I thought that was like legit. Like, the dude died because his heart stopped beating. Like, that was his cause of death. Heart stopping. Now, obviously, that is the cause of death. His heart stopped beating. But like, I just thought, these people they're just walking in one day, their heart stops. I mean, I know that happens, but usually it's like died of something else. But with Dad, it's always the heart stopping.
Wake up every morning and take my pulse.
Well, that's good. That's good.
First thing he reads is the obituaries.
Oh my goodness.
If the name's not there, I'm good.
Oh my goodness. All right. So Holly, I'm just going to start off with this. I texted you the other day. I said, Holly, if my life couldn't get any busier.
Right.
And what I said to you was, guess who's back? Back again. Coach is back. Tell a friend. Mm-hmm. So I got to tell you, flag football coach Scott is back.
Wait a minute. I thought Jace was done with it.
So did I. I'm just,
Mine, huh?
I'm just, flag football, reffing it up. Just reffing it up. When Jace comes home the other day, he says, Dad, I want to play on Nixon's football team.
Oh, geez.
And I thought, oh, no.
And your heart just dropped, didn't it?
I just knew. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get you signed up for the football team. We get him over there.
Can he pick? But can he pick like the team he wants to be on? So you can go in and be like, my kid wants to be on this kid's team?
Well, let's just hope nobody from the league listens to this, but it's already done. League started, season started. I ain't going to get him on a team, but I coached there long enough to know that they ain't going to check the roster. He fits into the schedule. He's he's 5th grade. So I just went to the coach and said, hey, man, my son wants to play. He's like, yeah, bring him. Does he have a helmet? Does he have a helmet and cleats? Yep. Okay, bring him. So I show up and it's a complete, it's one of those situations. If you don't coach, you don't play. So the dad's like, sure, I'll coach. It's a complete disaster. The team's all over it. And he's like, oh, you can be my assistant coach. There's only one dad there and me and then the coach. And I'm like, took me about 12 seconds. And I was like, okay, I'm in. Let's do this. And immediately we started making changes. We're gonna win this thing. Actually, we're not. I'll be surprised if we score a touchdown. Let's just put it that way. But Jason wanted to play. He wants to play with his buddies. So here I am.
That's a win.
Coach Scott. Here's the thing. Practices on Mondays, but I already have practice on Mondays for volleyball sometimes. And then practices on Thursdays, which track meets and other things might get in the way, but we'll see.
Like, don't you have football? Don't you coach football? Oh, wait a minute. It's not football season.
What's that, Pops?
They don't play football on Thursdays?
Not right now, not season.
So the league will be done before reffing football comes into play. However, next year, I'm sure he's going to want to play next season. And so I told Val, I said, listen.
Next season?
So they have 6th grade.
They go through 6th grade because 7th grade you can play in middle school.
Right. So they have 6th grade and it's like 7-on-7 football. And And I told Val, I said, listen, if I'm going to coach, we're going to build a super team. I'm not going to play this like mamby-pamby football. We're going to like build a real team. So anyways.
For next year?
For the next season. So
you better start recruiting now. Get your team in.
I know. Here's the issue. I have. Tackle football happens in the fall. So now they tackle. So all these kids that play right now, they're just kind of honing their skills for tackle. So then they'll go on to tackle.
They do tackle for Little League.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they stopped like
kindergarten.
I thought they stopped doing that because of like all of the. Well, I guess it is Texas. Never mind.
What world are you?
I thought they stopped doing. I had read somewhere that a lot of them had stopped doing it because of the concussions. So they stopped doing tackle that young.
Nope.
But go ahead.
Nope.
Oh, hold up. We all know though, Jason ain't going to do no tackle football.
Oh, Jason playing tackle. That's why we're playing flag.
Oh, okay.
That's why we're playing.
I was about to say, no, that boy's not going to get hurt.
No, it ain't even tackle. It's one hand touch. It's one hand touch. So
you know what makes me laugh about Jace? In my mind, Jace is like the quintessential like manager who is super risk averse. Like he like weighs everything out where I'm more like, I think that's going to work. Let's do it, team. Jason's going to be like, hold up. Let's do a risk matrix probability. Like that's how he runs his life. Like if there's a potential for me to be hurt, like baseball. He didn't want to do baseball because he was afraid like he could get hit by the ball or something. I'm like, yeah, but that rarely happens.
Yeah, I tried. We tried to kind of get him to other things. Like Jace, I think would be good. Like
swimming.
Yeah, but my buddy, his son, like we used to live next to them in McKinney, and he coaches football, coaches track. So we see him at the track meets and stuff with Jared. He was our neighbor. Anyways, he said his son, who's Jared's age, has taken up, he's like, man, he plays old man sports. He got on the golf team and he plays pickleball. So, but he's like, he's a stud. He's a stud at pickleball. And so we're trying to get Jace to like do the pickleball thing. And so, but with Jace, it's one or the other. So it's like, Val's like, hey, do you want to do pickleball? He's like, yeah, I like pickleball. That'd be fun. So then we're like, okay, well, maybe we can kind of get you some training. He's like, yeah, okay. Well, the next day he wants to play football. So we're like, I said, oh, Jace, I thought you wanted to play pickleball. And he goes, no, I want to play football, not pickleball. So it's like, we're like, well, you could do multiple things. Like you can do both. You can play pickleball and you can, but he's like football. I'm like, okay, he's really good. He likes schoolyard football, but anyways.
Hilarious.
Yeah. So anyways, so that, so here we are. It's a month later. You said to me earlier, you said, hey, when did we record last? And I was like, yeah, like 2 weeks ago. You're like, no, it was a month ago. And I'm like, right. Oh, okay. So that's, my life couldn't get any busier. Why not coach another sport? But my friend, my old assistant coach that now coaches his own team in the league, who's really good. The team's really good. So I texted him and I'm like, dude, just, we play you guys in 2 weeks. Like go easy on us. He's like, hey, not a problem, man. Like we won't run the score up. So we just got to talking. He's like, hey, take advantage of it, man. Cause your kids, you're not going to be able to coach them for much longer. And I'm like, all right, fine. Good voice of reason. So anyways, let's introduce, old Pops over there. This is the man, everybody, drum roll. This is the man who single-handedly saved the world in Y2K.
Y2K.
Right here.
How long did it take for us to get the Zoom meeting going today?
About 35 minutes.
Yeah.
35 minutes.
Save the world. I didn't fix Zoom.
Yeah, but technology is technology, right?
I think the older you get, like, the harder it is to, like,
becomes.
Press pause or connect to. I mean, just the other day, I'm like looking at the.
You got to remember that was 25 years ago.
Dang, that was 25.
Y2K.
Wow. Sure was. Yeah, you're right.
Why you got to do that, Pops?
Technology was crap 25 years ago.
We're closer to freaking 2050 than we are to 2000.
Right.
What the heck? Jeez, way to bring it down, Pops. Jeez. So what'd you do? You saved the world. What'd you do?
Well, I worked for a company that uploaded chips into computers that prevented Y2K phenomenon from taking place. And it was on a floppy disk. You put it in there, and you just uploaded it to the computer.
I'm just thinking about this.
Doing with the computer. I mean, it was more than that. That was one of the steps we had to do.
I'm thinking about this right now, and Bear listens to our podcast every week, and that kid isn't going to be. He's going to be like, "What's a floppy disk? What do you do with a floppy disk? What does that mean?"
I think of all of them that would know. I think Bear will know because.
Oh, that's true.
Knowing Chad, he probably has a computer. Chad probably has a computer with a floppy disk on it.
Probably does. Probably has all his menus on it.
Yep. That is a true statement.
So what was the scare? So the scare back in Y2K, I was only a junior in high school. What was the scare? Why? Like, what was the thought process?
The thought process was that computers were only designed to roll over the next year to 1999. Once 1999 hit, then everything would revert because it's only 2 digits. Now, 99. And when it got back to 00, it would go back to 1900.
Everything would go back to 1900. Like the world would go back. Suddenly, there's no cars. We're like dressed in.
All the computers in the airplanes would stop, and airplanes would follow the sky. Trains would stop running.
Doesn't that sound like the biggest scam?
How is this
logical? It was a scam from day one. It was a scam from day one.
Who came up with this?
I have no idea. Before I worked for
which computer company? That's what I want to know.
So Bill Gates is over there like, well, we know this is going to roll to 2000. I mean, all you have to do is change the date on your computer to freaking December 31st, 1999, 11:59, and see if it rolls over.
Well, I know, right? And we did that. And I worked for a company before this. I'm not going to say the name because they're still in business, but I was a writer. I did all the documentation for all the stuff. And so I had to start putting in the phrase Y2K compliant. All our products were Y2K compliant because we had just done that. We had gone back, reset, and it rolled over. Nothing happened. So therefore, I just
think it was so funny because I actually remember the panic of Y2K. Like, the world's going to revert, banks are going to go, and it's like, so wait a minute,
your money's not going to be in the bank anymore.
It's not going to be worth anything. It's not going to be there. And I'm like,
your fortune's going to be worth what it was in 1900.
Yeah, like how does this? You know what? How is this a logical thought process that the world bought into?
Well, we bought
like literally the world bought into this theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I think about it, it's like now I can see why Nazi Germany bought in, because it's like not because of whatever, but it's like you put out an idea enough and scare people enough.
Yep.
They buy into it because it's like, oh my gosh, if we don't. So it's like, wow.
Oh, man.
It's not. I'm not sure that I believe it, but what if it's wrong? What if I'm wrong?
That's it right there. Like, what happens if everybody else is right?
What if? Yeah. So I think it's. All these the virus protections and all these things is like, oh, we have the latest virus protection. Well, who created the virus? Probably the virus company to make sure that, that's the whole Y2K thing. Like Microsoft is over here like, oh, we got to put out this program to make sure that Y2K, flips over, when really it was, they knew the whole time. That's just that's my brain. That's how I think. But
conspiracies.
Yes. So single-handedly save the world. You and Dave Edwards flying around and installing floppy disks.
Yep.
And today, 25 years later, all is well, and everything's AI.
And all those computers that we updated are probably in a trash heap somewhere.
Exactly. Did you know that they have
we have computers in the office that are 4 or 5 years old and they're already.
Oh, we need new ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see in Denver, I think it's in Denver, they have a museum and they have a 1990s exhibit.
No, that's awesome.
And it's like all stuff from the 90s.
Can I tell you why I went with Microsoft and computers had come out and my kids were using computers in school. They were using the Apple C or whatever, 3C or whatever they were using. And so I decided I wanted to I thought maybe we need to have a computer. So I went to was in the Army, so I went over to the PX at that time. I can remember, I guess it was at Fort Hood, maybe it was at Fort Rucker. And I went into the PX to buy a computer, and they had I was going to get the latest and greatest, which was the Macintosh, the Apple Macintosh. And I asked the computer kid that was there working, if he could teach me about this computer over here. He says, no, I can't. He says, I don't know anything about Apple, but I can tell you about this one over here, this IBM, and which was Windows based. And that's why he sold me the IBM, because he didn't know anything about the Apple. So
Apple was garbage until the iPod came out. Yeah. Like, honestly, like all the schools had Apple, but
that's because that's the only way they could unload them.
I'm pretty sure the first computer you bought was a Tandy.
Oh, that was something. Oh, that was
from Radio Shack.
That was just like a word processor, though. Remember,
no.
Green.
No.
Green screen.
No, I had a
Tandy,
which was the best.
The Tandy computer, and he got 5 games, and so he took me with him. And he let me pick out the 5 games I wanted to load. So I had a football game, and it took me about, I don't know, a few months to realize I wasn't actually controlling it. because I didn't have the settings right. So I'm like moving the buttons on the keyboard and I wasn't actually controlling it. I'm like, I told it to go left and he would go right. And then I look at the settings and it's like, I had to like change the setting. I didn't know that. And then we also had a Mario one, like, where's Mario or something like that.
I totally don't remember this.
Yeah, straight up.
Well, you know, the interesting thing
How
is
old
when
were
I
you?
bought that
12, 10.
I don't remember that.
when I,
It was
when
like
I
94.
bought that computer,
Probably 11.
when I bought that computer, I had it set up in my bedroom. I had a desk in my bedroom and had it set up on the desk. And I had a friend who is still my computer go-to guy here locally, came out and he set it up for me, did something to it, got it all set up. So years later, I had a computer go out and I called this guy up to come and fix my computer. And he said, I remember the first computer you had. And I said, what was that? He goes, it was a Tandy and it was in your bedroom. And I set it up for you. And I'd totally forgotten about that.
I don't even remember this. Man.
It's because you were probably gone by then.
No, she wasn't.
You were quite the rebel.
I mean,
She
I
was
was the
probably
rebel.
gone. She was in a rebellion. She was in a rebel stage.
You were never home. You were never home. You were gone.
That's
but that's
weird.
the computer.
I
The Tandy.
worked.
That's the one we would have eventually. AOL Instant Messenger, I think, when that came around with the modem.
And you're like, don't pick up the phone.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Well, there we go. So that's our dad, 80 years old, and he saved the world. So single-handedly, him and Dave Edwards. So Holly, quote of the day. Looks like we are, speaking of being back,
Baseball.
something very important is back.
Baseball is back.
For you, that's important.
So-
For me, I just wore it because that's what I was wearing today.
It is important. I have my Giants gear on. And I'm super excited. So my quotes of the day today. And again, I'm only going to half apologize to Mark today because it's baseball. And if you don't like baseball, Mark, I was going to say you're un-American, but you do live in Canada. So I guess either way. Okay, so I'm in my Giants gear. Scott, you got yours on. We forgot to give Dad the memo.
It's all right. I'm sitting under my picture of Candlestick Park. Does that count?
Good enough.
Yep. That's where Dad used to go watch baseball games back before they demolished it.
Yep.
No. He used to go watch baseball games at some other spot. Where'd they play
It was at
before
Candlestick,
Candlestick?
wasn't it, Dad?
Well, I went to Seal Stadium, but I went to Candlestick Park too.
Seal Stadium.
Oh, yeah. Seal Stadium is
That's when they first came to San Francisco, and my uncle would take us to the games. There was a couple of
that ended up being their minor league. The Negro League team was the Seals. So when you go to, well, I'm not going to attest to that. That's what the girl when I went to the Giants game and they had the Seals, I was talking to her about it, and she said that ended up being their Negro League was the Seals because they have a vendor on the.
I don't remember that.
No, I don't know. That's what she told me. I'll have to Google it here in a minute. But either way,
because after Candlestick went up, the Seals had been long since disbanded. After the Candlestick went up, they demolished the field. They demolished that stadium.
oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't the Seals. It's the Sea Lions.
Okay.
The Negro League was the Sea Lions.
Okay.
So based out of San Francisco. So you can get either the Seals or the Sea Lions gear if you go to the Giants Stadium. They sell both. So anyway,
All right.
Quotes of the day. Baseball, of course. So I have 3 because they're all short. So Bill Veeck has said there are only 2 seasons, winter and baseball, which I agree with. Even though it's like, all right, I like football, but I hate when baseball ends because then I know football's coming. It's going to be cold. So yeah, winter and baseball. And then
I never got
Babe
into
Ruth
baseball.
said, baseball was, is, and always will be to me the best game in the world, which I agree.
You know, Holly, I got a guy that goes to church with me, about 84 years old,
Youngster.
and his name is,
Babe Ruth.
why can't I think of his first name? Brother. We're going to call him Brother. Brother Brand. And he played baseball in the majors. He played for the Astros and he played for the Expos. He played against Mickey Mantle. He played against DiMaggio. I think he said was it Mantle? He said one of them got up, one of the big names. He gets up and he's a rookie. Brand.
What position did Brand?
Ron Brand. Ron Brand played catcher. And he was a rookie, and he gets up, and the guy comes up, Manhole or DiMaggio, I can't remember which one it was. And he comes up, and he's like, and he tells him, he said, man, I'm a little nervous, man. And whoever it was, Mantle, he said, don't worry, rookie. I'm nervous up here too. And he said it kind of helped him, like, kind of dispel the nerves, because it was like his first game and it was the first batter. And he said even they would get nervous, up there at bat. So,
oh, that's cool.
So maybe
I Googled him.
Yeah. Ron
He
Brand.
played for the Pirates, the Astros, and the Expos. We should have him on.
I was just going to say that. Maybe I'll talk him into.
But you'll need to
coming
bring
on the
him
show.
to your house so that you can set everything up.
And then
He's older than Dad.
Yeah. And then he, a real nice guy like Ron. And then he talked about how, not talked about, he became a scout for the New York Yankees. And I think he scouted, who was their closer? Mariano Rivera.
Oh, yeah.
Scouted Mariano, has a signed Mariano jersey. Anyways, that was kind of cool. I thought you liked Ron. We'll have to bring Ron on and talk baseball. Anyway.
And then there's my all-time favorite baseball quote that I say all the time to everybody. When the kids are crying, when anybody's crying, there's no crying in baseball. There it is on your shirt.
Yep,
And that was said by Coach Jimmy Dugan of the Rockford Peaches.
I'm Hanks.
You gonna sing it, Scott?
Sing what? Oh, I can't remember how it goes.
Members of... Yes, you do. You know it. Don't act like
know.
you don't know it.
No.
Lies. So, yeah, those are my quotes of the day. Baseball, of
All right.
course.
No crying in baseball.
So,
Speaking of baseball, Holly, have you seen, Pops, have you guys seen these new hats that, every year, they're always coming out with new hats, right? So New Era comes out with new hats. This is one. It has a little thing on the side, right?
right.
So it's called the overlap hat. Have you seen those?
No.
Okay. Get your phones out. I'm going to text you some
I'm on-
pictures. Don't even look it up. Don't even look it up.
Okay.
Don't look it up.
Okay.
I'm going to give it away. You haven't even seen this yet. I'm going to send you some pictures right now. Hold on. I got to get them. And I'm going to put these pictures up onto the screen. All right. So I'm going to send these pictures to you. Take a look at these pictures. They're coming to you via text message. I'm going to put these pictures up on the screen. So they're called overlap hats. And so they have like one of the logos like written out. Like here's the Giants one. It says San Francisco. And then over it, they have the actual like logo, right? It's overlapping. So here's just a couple of examples.
Okay.
You see that?
Yeah. I don't hate that, but I don't love it.
Okay. So somehow these three that I'm going to send you right now, Pops, you see those?
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So these three I'm going to send you right now somehow made it through. And so the first one we're going to show you, they made it through editing.
Branding. Okay.
And these have been pulled. These three have been pulled from the market, and now they're selling on eBay for thousands of dollars.
Dang.
This one is the Anaheim Anals.
Anals. Horrible.
So that one made
Had
it.
their head, where in their anal?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so the second one, this one got pulled as well, and this one is Houston.
Uh-oh.
I used to work for
I
them.
even want to know.
Did you work for the Houston Astros or the Houston Asshos? Which one?
Horrible.
It was even better. Even better. Last one. Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers got pulled.
Texas. How could it mess up Texas Rangers?
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Did I not send it? Oh, no, that's to you. Let me get to mine. Texas Rangers. How about... I'm surprised you guys haven't seen this. How about the... Ta-da! Which is Spanish for...
I don't know what it... Boobs? Titas?
Yes. So that one is selling for thousands of dollars, the Texas Tetas.
That's interesting.
So
are those the only three that they've pulled and
yeah,
they're
there's only
still
three they
selling the
pulled. They're
others?
selling the others, I guess.
So are they going to do... So
I'm
how
sure
are they
they're
going to do
going
these?
to redo them somehow, or they're just going to pull them all. But
Wow.
the Tetas,
That's funny.
That's pretty awesome.
the assholes and the anals. So
Asshole
those all got-
and the Tetas.
they all got they all got pulled from.
I feel like they did that on purpose. Somebody has a sense of humor in that marketing. Whoever did it at New Era. Are those New Era hats?
New Era. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
So there we go. Go along with start off the baseball season right.
Wow.
That's good.
Oh man.
Well, I think we have some hope this season. I hope anyway. We got Buster in, running the show. When you sent me the Guess Who's Back again, Coach is back, I was like, oh my gosh, they brought back Gabe. So I immediately Googled it and it wasn't Gabe.
No, it's me.
And I was upset.
It was me. I'm the coach, guys. I'm not him who's back.
All right. So, but
So
yeah,
we got
our season
What do we got?
opener.
What do we got starting? Yeah. What's going on baseball season wise?
So season opener is the 27th of March, and we will be against the Reds in Cincinnati. And our home opener is April 4th, and we play against the Mariners. So,
Pops, how much baseball
I
you
wanted
watching
to be
these
out
days?
there for it, but
Hey, what?
I said, how much baseball you watching these days?
I watch a little bit. It's on TV. I don't watch a whole lot. I don't watch a whole lot.
he doesn't have to because I usually watch it or Jared watches it, and then
I do
I
have.
give Dad updates.
He gives me updates, and I'll watch it. Sometimes I'll watch it. I have nothing better to do, which most of the time now. If baseball season had started 3 months ago, I'd been watching every day because I can't do anything.
Why not? What happened?
Huh?
What happened? You can't do anything.
Well, I had to decided to have a shoulder. I had arthritis real bad in my old shoulder, so I decided to have that changed or fixed. So they went in and had it in January, had a total reverse shoulder replacement in my right shoulder.
That's
And,
normal. Normal procedure, right?
Yeah, normal procedure. 3 weeks, I'd be doing some PT, and then I would be getting back to normal. Well, about 3
So
weeks
that didn't
in,
happen,
I'm
did
sitting
it?
at the dining
So-
table, and
So you're Pritchard. Meets his.
Pritchard.
Just so everybody knows, all the listeners, everybody knows. We could go on, and we might throw some in here, here and there. We've talked about him a few times, but Pritch's Get Stitches is all thanks to this man right here. So 3
Richard
weeks in,
Jeans is what we call them.
Richard Jeans. 3 weeks in, what happens?
I'm holding my little schnauzer, Coco, and getting time to put her down so we can go to bed. And she zigged and I zagged, and when I turned wrong, and I popped that new shoulder out of socket. And when it
Did you fall?
No, I sit on the table, sitting on my chair. But when
So
I
because you were
turned,
holding her?
I'm holding her on my lap.
Okay.
And
Because I'm trying to imagine this in my mind, and in my mind, you fell.
No, just
you
this
didn't
happened so
fall.
quick though. But what happens is this replacement has the shoulder thing, and then it has a stem that goes down. And they put the stem goes down inside the bone. That's how they connect it. It goes inside the arm bone there. And so when she zigged and I zagged and that thing popped out, what happened is when it popped out, it turned that stem and it fractured the bone that it was in. So now I had to go back in a month, 3 or 4 weeks later,
Have shoulder surgery
and have
again.
shoulder again, and put it all back together. And then they used some type of I always feels like hose clamps on a radiator, but they had to use clamps sometime to hold that all together. And then I had now I'm not getting over a shoulder replacement. I'm already over that. I'm getting over the bone having to heal. And I tell you, an 80-year-old bone doesn't heal as fast as an 8-year-old bone. So I'm just now getting out. I just started PT physical therapy on Monday.
All right.
So, but I totally my right arm is just about useless. I can barely use my fingers and my hand. So hopefully I get all that back.
Man,
So
it's kind of like when you say your right arm's useless, the first thought that came to my mind was he's blind out of his right eye and can't see out of the other.
that's right. Well, I can't use my right arm, and I got no right eye, so that means I'm a one-eyed, one-armed flying purple people eater.
There you go. One-eyed, one-armed, flying purple people eater. Oh my goodness.
No eye.
So is that the worst injury you've ever had? What would you say your worst injury was?
Oh, geez. This is a good question. I want to know, too.
I'd say the
Dad used
funniest.
to own a motorcycle.
And it fell over, and he had to
It
push
fell
it up off
over.
of him. And Mom said, "No more motorcycles."
Well, that was the second or third time. The first one was the first motorcycle. I had a little Honda 50. I was still living home. I hadn't gone on my mission. Before I got on my mission, I was like 18, 19 years old. And I had this little Honda 50, and I'm coming home from school. I was going to college, San Jose City College. And I'm coming home, and I come to a stop sign, or stop or whatever. Anyway, this guy runs it. And I
Hold up. This is the second or third time you crashed on the motorcycle?
Well, this is the first time.
That's what I'm saying. I thought you meant this is like the third motorcycle you owned. You've had multiple motorcycle crashes.
Yeah, I had one with every bike I owned have crashed. So I don't own a bike anymore.
I just thought you had one, and you crashed it. Mom
So
said
did
no.
I. I thought you were saying like you had this was your third motorcycle. So this was like your third motorcycle crash.
Fool me
Mom was
once.
like, no
Now,
more.
this was my first one. On
Fool
my
me
second
once,
one-
shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you. Fool me three times, shame on you.
Second one's years later at Fort Rucker, and I had a friend that was leaving. He was getting ready to PCS, and he had a Honda 125 dirt bike. And I had just gotten back from Korea. I can't remember, but maybe I hadn't gone to Korea yet. But anyway, I bought this bike from him, and I was in the parking lot going over to Troy State University. I had a campus on post on Fort Rucker, and back then they had all these auxiliary type things like colleges and stuff were all housed in the old World War II type barracks, so they didn't have paved parking lots, or just dirt parking lots. And red dirt in Alabama can get real soft. And I was going in to go register for classes or something, do something there, and I hit this patch of soft dirt, and in slow motion, this bike goes out from underneath me, and so I'm laying there on the ground, and my head hits the ground, but I got a helmet on. So I said, well, the first thing crossed my mind, hit that helmet. Well, at least that works. At least I know that works. And so I'm laying there, and this bike is on top of me, and it's still running. And the guy jumps out of his car, and he says, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Yeah, I think so." He says, "Okay," jumps back in his car, and he drives off. And he leaves me on his motorcycle, and I got the exhaust pipe my leg is between the exhaust pipe and the ground. So I was able to reach up and reach the kill switch, and I was able to get out of it without getting, but so that night, man, I hurt everywhere. So I went into the emergency room, and the doctor that was on was the flight surgeon, and he was my flight surgeon.
I was like, he knew you, huh?
Oh yeah. And he did not, he ripped me one side and down the other, one for riding the bike, and number two for not coming in immediately. And so then the third time I was back from Korea, and I bought a bike, just a little 125 or whatever, and I was just going for a ride, and I lost control of it in the dirt and started to go down. I said, "That's it. I wouldn't get back there. I sold that thing right then. I never been on another bike since."
I think
had three, and I wrecked three. There's not going to be a fourth one.
I think it's a good poll question. How many times have you wrecked a motorcycle? 1, 2, or Frank? Like, which one? Like, I'll put it on the poll. How many times have you wrecked a motorcycle?
I always wanted a motorcycle. When I, lived in Killeen, I was always going to get a motorcycle. And I can remember Colby telling me, like, I want you to live, so I don't think it's a good idea that you get a motorcycle.
Who said that?
Colby. He would always tell me that. Like, a motorcycle for you is a really bad idea.
Yeah.
But I've actually been considering getting one here because...
Well, at least you just have like a little moped that goes like 25.
Because then you can't take it like up on the highway. But I mean, you have to remember the fastest speed is like 65 here. So...
And that's for like 5 seconds. Believe me,
Yeah.
I drove there. I'm like,
right.
why is the fastest speed 40? What is happening?
On the highway, at some places, it's 45.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why?
On the interstate?
So, yeah.
Hey,
By the
Texas.
time you get up to 60, you run out of island.
That's true.
I guess.
There's only one little spot. It's right when I'm leaving Kailua and I'm getting on the H3 where I can gun my car if there's nobody else. And then I gun it up, but I don't go too high. It's 65. I usually go, probably up really quickly to 65, 75, but then I slow down because I haven't registered my car here yet.
Oh.
So, and I haven't registered it.
Registration run out?
It's still, yeah, but my Texas registration ran out last April. My car got here into March. You have 30 days to register. Well, I'm talking to Scott's brother-in-law, Jeremiah, who is a police officer. He's like, yeah, you have 30 days to get it registered. He's like, but to be honest, like, we never pull over anybody with out-of-state plates because we know that's typically military, and then you have to go through the whole rigmarole with that. He's like, so if we see somebody who's got like, out-of-state plates, we just assume they're military. We don't pull them over, and it's worked. So last April, when my little sticker on the windshield, that you put on for registration showed 424, I just pulled that little registration sticker off. There's no stickers on my plates.
Yeah.
I just haven't registered it. And I planned on it. I went to Firestone.
I mean, what's the worst they're going to tell you? What's the worst they're going to do?
Well,
They'll pull
you
you
have
over
to
and they'll
pay
say,
for-
you need to get it registered. So then you just go get it registered.
So what I went to do it one time, and you have to go, any car that's coming in on island with an out of state, you have to go get a safety inspection. So I'm at Firestone doing my whatever maintenance for like 10,000 miles or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I need to set up a safety inspection. So she's like, okay, so you're going to fail the first time. And I was like, no. It's like brand new. It's going to pass. She's like, no. I'm going to tell you the process. She's like, you're going to come in and pay for a safety inspection, and we're going to fail you because you have out of state plates. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take that form over to the DMV, and you're going to tell them you need to register, and they're going to ask you for that, and they're going to show that you failed. And then they're going to give you a paper. And then you have to come back and schedule another appointment with us. And then, we'll do the safety inspection and pass you. And then you go back. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, it's like this whole process. And then it's like there's only certain places on island that do safety inspections and they're only on certain days. And so when I tried to schedule my safety inspection here in Kailua, it was like months out. So then I'm like, okay, I'll go over to the next town. I'll go over to Kaneohe and do it months out. So it's just like, all right, well, I'm just going to take my chances. And if they say anything, I'll just tell them, oh, I just had my car sent over. Even though I have a Hawaii license, I'll just say, oh yeah, my license expired, but I just had my car sent. But I know they can probably look up, and you're supposed to take in the paper from the boat that shipped your car. And I don't even know where that paper is. Oh. Like, I'm assuming they're going to say, like, you need to go back and get a copy of it and bring it in. But the other reason I haven't registered it is because that car's heavy. And they do registration here by weight of the car. So it's not like a $50 Texas registration. It's
78.
Oh, is it 78 now?
Well,
mine's there. I feel like it's 50.
Pops, what are you doing?
That's my eye. I'm sorry.
I thought you were taking your eye out.
I could do that.
I thought you're like just over there pulling your eye out. I'm like, what's going on, dude? Sticking on the middle of your forehead.
Sorry.
Like Jared. But yeah. So I'd have to pay the back registration plus the current. And I'm like, I'll do it one day, but I probably am not going to do it until.
I think you just wait. You just wait.
I'm just waiting. I totally am.
You just say, hey, do you know Officer so-and-so? And then they say, oh yes, that's my brother-in-law kind of. And then they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Cool. I wouldn't even say kind of. I just say, that's my brother-in-law. I got to get a sticker from them too. Like if you get a D4 sticker and you stick it on your car, nobody will pull you over.
I got to get one on. I got, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nope. You.
I was just going to say one time I jumped up on I-14. I guess it was 190 back then. And I jumped up on that. Police pulled me right over. The time I got on there, and I'm doing 70, 75, 60 mile an hour speed limit. So he walks up and he asks me driver's license, and he looks at my driver's license. He says, "Are you related to Holly Pritchard?" And I said, "Yes." And she goes, "Yes, I am. She's my daughter." She's a friend of mine. You need to just take care of it. Take it a little bit slower. Thank you. So thank you, Holly.
Who was it? Do you know? Do you remember?
No.
Huh. Curious.
He did get pulled over one time. He did get pulled over one time for wobbling.
I did.
Sir, you did a wobble. You did a wobble, sir.
I was on my way up to pick Chad up. Chad had locked his keys in his car, and it was midnight. And he had just gotten back from the football game. He was one of the managers, and he got back, called me up and said, "I don't have lock my keys in the car." Which so I'm on my way up to take him a set of keys, and the policeman pulls me over just about a block and a half from the house. Says, "Have you been drinking, sir?" And I said, "No, I don't drink." And he goes, "Well, you did a wobble." And I came very close to saying, "Well, I'm built like a weeble, and weebles wobble, but we don't fall down." But I bit my tongue, and I didn't say it.
Oh man!
But I didn't get
you did a wobble.
Did a wobble.
I thought the reason that he was asking if you were related to me was because I had so many tickets.
No, he was.
They were like, "Oh yeah,
he was a friend of yours and your first husband."
First. Oh.
Yeah, don't remember any of that. It's too long ago.
So Holly, you talking about paperwork and follow up on the name change. Did you get the name changed in time before you have to get another birth certificate that's only good for 30 days?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
Because I am still trying to get copies of my Utah divorce decrees.
Decree. Okay. Because I did run a poll as to what your last name should be.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
You didn't know I was going to run the poll, but I did.
I did not know because I'm not on social media.
That's correct. So the question was, should Holly change her name officially to Holly Honolulu?
How many people said yes?
Only 8 votes. It's kind of sad. Probably because people don't even know what's going on because we haven't been on the air for a long time. But all my friends, 7 of them, to include Sean, Heidi, me, and Frankie, one eye over there, all said, of course. There were only 2 options, of course, and something else. And Mark Reynolds said something else.
Good for you, Mark.
So,
there you go.
The poll has spoken. So once you get all that through, you got to change your name to Holly Honolulu.
I could. I would just have to go in now and change all the paperwork again and pay that paperwork fee again, which I'm not willing to do because I'm going to have to pay another $100 to have a new birth certificate sent. But now that I know Utah takes forever, I'm not reordering the birth certificate until I can figure out how to get my Utah divorce decrees.
Do I not have a copy of your birth certificate? I guess I don't.
You do. But the thing with the birth certificate is
it's only good for 30 days. Copy
that was yours. It's only good for 30 days. So you have to get a birth certificate dated within 30 days. So the one I have that, you and I've had from forever is dated 1982. So then I got a new one and it's like $65 for a new one, like an official one. But then you have to pay $28 to ship it. So it's almost $100 for this stupid birth certificate that I can't even use because it has to be dated within 30 days to change my name here. But I cannot figure out. So I'm probably going to end up honestly waiting until I go to Utah, which is probably going to be like, I assume maybe June or July, because we're trying to time it around when my corporate team's going to go out. We're going to go to a Salt Lake Bees game with the team. So it'll probably be June or July that I go out, and then I'm going to just have to go to the court because I've called and left messages and emailed and nothing. But I do have all of the other stuff I need. The only thing I don't have is the divorce decree from there. So I've got to figure out like how to do it. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
So legally not changed yet, but
all right,
it's a process.
Well, we'll keep up on that. So can anybody in Utah, any friends of ours that are listening, can you help Holly? Can you get to Utah, go to the court, and find it?
I know. Find what she needs. Cole or Heather to go and do it for me.
We got off topic and we started talking about motorcycle crashes and then registering cars and changing names that we never did actually get from old Pops over there. His funniest injury story. I don't know if it's walking down the hallway and breaking your foot. I don't know if that's up there. Kicking the watermelon rind.
That experience today at the doctor's office, but go ahead.
Kicking the watermelon and having a rind up your toenail that you had to have surgically removed. Opening the freezer, which was always so full of food that this is not a surprise it happened, but a chuck roast fell out and landed on your foot and broke it.
I think that's probably one of my favorites.
Or is it falling out of the tow truck?
Ooh,
I think be falling out of the tow truck.
That's a good one.
That's got to be it. That's got to be the funniest.
And that's just funny because the guy's like, "Sir." Okay,
so you got to tell us. All right, we got time. Tell us a story. Tell us that we've talked about it a little bit in the past. Scoot up to your microphone and tell us the story in firsthand, Frank's experience. And this is for the grandkids, Pops. This is for my kids later on. My kids listen. Lexi came in the other day. She's driving now, by the way. Passed her driver's test, has a car, is driving to school. She just got a job. By the way, Holly, she's probably going to be listening to this. Just got a job at Chick-fil-A. Very first job.
That's what I'm talking about.
She's excited about that.
Chick-fil-A when I go.
And she's listened. She said, she was like, I was in class the other day and they was taking a test or whatever she was doing. And she was listening to the podcast. And she said, I was listening to you guys were talking about all your teachers from school. So one of the ones we talked about teachers. But anyways, so this is for your grandkids, Pop. So we forever have this story. I think the greatest story ever told is for me. Because you got Jesus and then you got Dad's falling out of the tow truck story.
And I think the best part about it is like it was just a whole day.
The whole day was just one after another. So this happened on the 4th of July in whatever year it was. And Chad and Kimber and
Chad.
And I don't know who else. Another couple.
Kyle Curtis.
Kyle. Was it Steve? Or was it Steve Ratliff?
And they go down.
It was Kyle. Pretty sure.
Yeah, they go down to. They go out to Colorado Bend State Park, and on their way back, he gets a flat tire. So the road itself is a good portion of that road is a dirt road, and I've been out there on that road, and it has not improved at all. I mean, it's still the way it is what it is. I think they're doing some improvement near the park, but anyway, he puts the tire on, and he gets a flat tire on the second tire. And so they somehow limped their way into Lampasas and they pulled into a gas station. Now, this happens to be on the 4th of July, so everybody's closed.
And not only that, Kimber's 8 months pregnant. Oh, yeah, and it's July in Texas.
And they're driving this old Mercury Cougar. Two-door Mercury Cougar.
Was there AC in it?
Probably.
I don't remember if there is AC, but I just remember
it is in Texas. So I'm sure that there was. Now, whether it worked or not is the story. But so he calls me up, and we're going to go down and rescue him. So,
except you have to put this caveat in. He calls Dad. Dad's like, okay, we'll be there. Well, Dad didn't tell Chad we were eating or whatever the deal was. So an hour later, Chad calls and is like, are you coming? And Dad's like, oh yeah, we're about to leave. We're just finishing up dinner. And Chad's like, I have an 8-month pregnant wife and it is hot. Like, get here. Like, we are melting.
It is July in Central Texas. That's true. So anyway, I grab, and my son-in-law and I get in the Mustang and we drive down there. And he has a couple of cans of Fix-A-Flat. So he says he's going to use it.
He drives. First of all, he drives down in the Mustang. Granted, we have trucks, we have vans.
I thought that you didn't even make it. I thought that it was like you were going. No, he drove first in the Mustang. Oh, this gets better then. Okay, so you drive like 45 minutes in
top down in the Mustang. Dude's got a flat tire. Can't put the tire anywhere if you needed to because you're in a Mustang.
Oh, it's in the back seat. So my son-in-law gets out and he puts the fix-a-flat in the one tire. One tire is totally destroyed. So the other one could be, fix-a-flat game home. So he's of the opinion that if one can is good, 2 cans would be better.
He
fills the first can of fix-a-flat, he puts the second one in, and the tire explodes. Boom. So now I have to go back. So we drive around Lampasas and there's nothing open because it's the 4th of July. And not only is it the 4th of July now, it's in the evening of the 4th of July. So I go back to Colleen. And
the worst part is you didn't even take Kimber back with you.
You didn't take Kimber.
It was just you and Sean who went back, right?
I guess. I can't. Yeah. She probably wanted to stay there. I don't remember why. But anyway, we get back and I go over to Walmart to see if I can buy a tire. Because I have the rim and everything. I was going to get a tire, but they were closed. The tire shop was closed. So I go back out in the van. I think, I go back out and get my
work van. Work van
start, and it's deader than a doornail. I mean, it won't turn over nothing. So I said, great. So then I have to call the tow truck guy. So
you were at Walmart with the van that wouldn't start. Okay. I just had to put that out. You're stranded at Walmart with the car.
So we got Chad stranded with 2 blown up tires, one of Fix-A-Flat, and you're stranded at Walmart with a car that won't start.
Right, with a van that won't start. So I call the tow truck, all the roadside assistance people. They send the tow truck out, and he comes over in this tow truck that's like a semi. The cab is a semi, and because I guess he thought he was picking up a big truck, whatever. I don't know what he thought, but he loads my van up, and he says, and I get up in the front. And he says, where do you want me to take it? I said, I just take it to my house now because, mechanics closed, everybody's closed. I'll just take it to my house right now and take care of it on Monday. So I said, fine. So he takes me to the house and he pulls up and it's dusk. Maybe it's even dark. But anyway, he pulls up and I open the door to get out and I miss the step and I fall straight to the ground. Boom. And I get up and I brush myself off. And he says, sir, did you just fall out of my truck? And I said, yes, I did. Thank you. And I went in the house.
You're bloody all over. Chad's still stranded.
Chad's still sitting there, by the way.
No. By this time, Chad calls me up. Well, I called him up and I said, son, I can't get you a deal. He says, don't worry about it. I called a tow truck. It only cost me $60 to get towed from Lampasas to home.
He sat there for like 8 hours waiting, and all it took was $60 to get him towed home. And Dad falling out of the tow truck.
Great story.
And then when he walked in the house, Mom's like, what happened? Because he's just blood all over.
Sir, did you fall out of my truck? Yes, I did.
Yes, I did.
Great story.
Oh my gosh, just the comedy of errors. Everything that happened. That I think Paul went out there at one point with his truck. With
Sean, and somebody got a ticket on the way, and
Paul got a ticket on the way. Sean had the 2 cans of Fix-A-Flat.
Oh my God, I was at home. I guess I
think what happened
I wasn't any part of that.
Chad ended up calling and saying somebody needs to come pick up Kimber. Because Kimber was like, it's 8 months pregnant. She's hot. She's sitting there. So Chad's like, can somebody come pick up Kimber while we're waiting? So Paul went in the truck or whatever he had to go pick up Kimber. And Chad, I want to say Chad and Kyle stayed with the car. And then on the way to get Kimber, Paul got a ticket. And then in the end, they just towed it. So,
oh my gosh. That's That's a good one. How you got hurt?
Yeah.
Fell out of a pickup truck.
But even pickup was 18-wheeler type truck.
Still.
Well,
I just feel like it could have happened with any truck with you, Dad, though. Like,
Well, it could
literally.
have.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so one more thing, Pops, we got to talk about. Holly, is there anything on there that you absolutely want to talk about other than this one right here that I just highlighted?
Nope.
Okay.
Nothing that has to happen today.
Listen, Pops, we've gotten around and around. One of our episodes, the episode actually with Riley, we discussed whether we actually landed on the moon. And we've had a lot of discussion back and forth, and you saw it on TV.
Did.
And therefore, because you saw it on TV, 100% it's true.
It happened.
Hey, you're watching this.
And I am not 100. I'm not 100% convinced we did, but I'm also not 100% convinced we didn't. I'm not at 100%.
Well, you know,
I lean more towards we didn't simply because of other factors that are into play, and you say 100% we did. It's too big of a secret to hide when we've debunked that. So
you haven't debunked that at all. You just think you have.
We did.
You haven't debunked that at all.
Okay.
But when you're sitting in a day room, it's not very big, and it's full of hot, sweaty soldiers at the end of the day on July the 29th, or whatever day that was. July the 29th, I think, something like that, in July. In Biloxi, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
And the air conditioner can't handle you just got this little window, little air conditioner in the window. It's not handling all the body heat. And you sit there and you watch one small step for man, one giant step for mankind. You see that. Man, that's the greatest feeling in the world. You've done it. You're on the road.
But it's a lie.
I don't disagree with you on that it was a great feeling and you were part of something and you saw it. I wasn't there, obviously. I wasn't even a twinkle in your eye.
No.
But I sat in a hot, sweaty movie theater one time because the air conditioner broke. It was the year 2000-ish, maybe 2001. And I heard the words, "Are you not entertained?" But it did not mean that we were watching an actual gladiator fight a lion. And we were all hot and sweaty. It did not mean we watched that happen in real life.
The difference is if somebody tried to portray that as being real, somebody would have said, "No, it wasn't. It was a movie."
And what happens to the whistleblowers? Every government whistleblower, what happens to them?
And
died.
And it's not a person alive.
Have a heart attack.
Regardless of that, you're going to have people who are going to say something because.
And people will think there's only one.
That's going to happen, and somebody's going to say something.
There's only one. And if you had one person from there that came and said, "This was all fake, I was part of it," they're going to be like, "This guy's a freaking Looney Tune," right? When in reality, he was probably telling the truth, but you got 7 people that need to know about it. That's it. And you show a movie, and you show the movie to the 500 people working on the space program, and you say, "Hey, this is happening right now."
So the production that would have to take place to do that.
It's not a lot.
Come on, I watched Wheel of Fortune one time, and Vanna White was talking about doing this little ad. Hey, come and see us. We're going to be at this whatever, and come be a part of this trip. She says it took 50 to 100 people to produce that, because there's people, but all you see in front of the camera is her, but behind the camera there's 50 to 100 people back there doing something. So,
I think Dad still hasn't watched Operation Avalanche.
Well,
you watched that one yet, Scott?
Because it's propaganda.
But no, it's not.
Propaganda.
You got to watch both sides.
Propaganda.
It's not science.
You've got to consider both sides.
No. I didn't say science. I said you got to watch both sides.
Oh.
You got to, like, yes, you were there, you saw that happen, but what if there was something on the other side now that's starting to come out, and you're like, wait a minute, like I do that with politics and my friends, like, well, you're only looking at one way, like look at the other way and study it.
That's like telling me the Vietnam War didn't happen. Come on, guys. Tell me World War II didn't happen.
I mean, that's different. You were there.
That's different. There were hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people that were in Vietnam. How many people went on the moon? How many people went on the moon?
A bunch. And they're going to go again.
There haven't been 10.
A bunch. Less, 10 maybe?
I don't know.
And how many of them are still alive? Number one. Number two, like,
well, they all died.
It's easy to hold 10 to secrecy.
So I'm going to give you the synopsis real fast of Operation Avalanche.
He won't listen.
You're not going to.
I know. I still think you need to watch it just because it's interesting, whether or not you believe it. It does show a scenario in which the moon landing didn't happen.
Well,
and how could they have pulled it off? And it shows it.
Okay, and then they're just some of the things that you guys have said to me. I can say right back to you. There's no blast pattern underneath where the rocket landed or took off. Well, that's because there's no gravity there.
There is gravity on the moon. There is gravity on the moon.
Not enough to attract that.
Yes, yes, there is.
You got somebody up there that measured that.
You're gonna have a blast pattern.
You don't know that because it's going to sit and blow. It's going to go every which way. There's no blast pattern. No blast pattern.
You're going to tell me that. You're going to tell me that jet fuel, a rocket pushing down, is not going to leave some sort of a hole when you get close.
Absolutely. Because it's not moving very
That's
fast.
not science. That's not
It's
science.
moving very fast. It's not. It's science we don't understand because we've never done it before.
I don't believe in God.
Science.
I don't believe in God. I believe in science.
No.
There's
science. Hey, in 2020 they were trying to get us to believe in science too. So
Listen.
Didn't happen.
All I have to say is there's a lot for it and there's a lot against it.
Me.
And the lot for it is like, this happened. These are moon rocks. This is blah, blah, blah. But the lot against it is like, yeah, but how did we get through the Van Allen, radiation belts? How did we get out in this thermal, like 6,000 plus degrees with aluminum foil? Like nobody's shown me how that actually happened.
Well, it actually was aluminum foil, but that's all right. One day,
it's pretty close to it.
One day you'll learn it. Almost.
Well, I've told you that
Apollo 13 almost burn up coming back too. They lost.
Did it?
Yeah, they did. They lost it for a long time. It showed the cameras showing that where it should be, and all of a sudden, it came.
Well, here's the deal. I've already told you this, Pops. When you die, you are coming. I'm commanding you to come back to me in a dream, and to tell me whether or not we actually went to the moon.
I'm going to send you an email.
Do it.
Because when I die, you're going to slip this laptop in my coffin and tell me I got to enter 3 jobs when I get to the other side.
That's true. That probably is true. Well, we'll have to agree to disagree on this one because me and Holly are convinced we didn't. And Holly's got super top clearance, so she's looked at the files.
I don't think she's looked at it.
Can't tell you if I did. If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
You know what, Pops? They also told us there weren't UFOs.
I've never believed that either.
And there are. It seems like everything the government tells us, it's always opposite.
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah,
Depends on what they want. Depends on what they want you to know. Depends on what they want you to know.
It's what they want you to know. Remember that.
Ah, yes. So, Pops, listen. My biggest one, though, on this whole deal is 3 years before they couldn't even make a rocket lift off the ground, and then they went to the moon 3 years later. That's that was, I think, the starting point for me. I'm like, wait a minute, they couldn't do this. They've
been putting people.
How'd you get the science? How'd you get that science? Yeah, in orbit.
And
where not the same as landing on the moon.
And when the NASA guy says, we haven't been back because we don't have the science anymore, or the technology. I'm like, how do you not have the technology? What, you erased all the records, right? Come on.
And not only that, technology has advanced so much that we can't figure out from 1960s technology to 2025 technology.
Well, they say you got more technology on your cell phone than they had in that first.
You're making our point for us, Pops.
No, but I'm saying we also had American ingenuity and be able to get there. And we did, and they got there.
I think we made up a story.
There to beat Russia because Russia beat us actually into space.
I'm sitting there.
It's like, communism.
I believe we've gone. I believe we've orbited the Earth. I believe
150 degrees. I believe it.
I believe that there's an international space station up there. Some people don't believe that. I believe that. I believe that there's satellites. Yeah, I believe we're a sphere. I don't believe we're a flat Earth. But I just don't know that we went 184,000 miles or whatever heck it is. And we pinpointed directly to the moon. And we couldn't lift off the ground 3 years prior.
You know how you're going to actually ever really find out for sure? When somebody goes up that's just as a civilian and goes up there, takes a ride up there and gets off the ship and there's a Buc-ee's right there.
Yes.
You'll know.
There will be a Buc-ee's on the moon.
There will be a Buc-ee's right there.
There's a Buc-ee's everywhere. That is true.
All right.
Buc-ee's no Walmart.
Pops, anything else you want to talk about here today?
I just got it. If we're getting towards the end, we talked about baseball this morning and this afternoon early on. And baseball, comes in the spring. And it reminds me of a poem my mother used to tell me all the time. And I'm going to share this poem from my mother. Though spring has sprung, the grass is riz. I wonder where the birdies is. The birdie's day is on the wing. Now, isn't that a silly thing? I always thought the wing was on the birdie. There you go.
That is a good spring. Spring has sprung. The grass is raised. Yes. Well, to close it out, guys, I don't know how your 2025 has been going, but there is a little trend going around on TikTok and Facebook and all that stuff. And it says whatever movie was the top movie on your birthday, on your 10th birthday.
Okay. In theaters or?
Yeah, the top movie on your birthday. Okay. And I'm looking them up right now.
I'm looking at mine.
That's how your year's going to go.
Oh, great.
So I looked up mine yesterday, and mine is Groundhog Day.
Oh,
and I thought, oh, geez, this is not good. If 2025 is going to be like Groundhog Day, 10th birthday, 1993. Holly, I've never seen this, but yours is Total Recall.
I've never seen it either. I don't even know what it's about. Okay, you go ahead with Dad's because I'm going to look.
It's got Schwarzenegger in it.
Great.
Although Back to the Future Part 3 was number 2. And Frankie, yours in 1955, the top grossing movie in the United States on your birthday was Mr. Roberts. Don't know anything about it. Do you know that movie?
Love it. Great movie. Watched it on Netflix not very long ago.
What's it about?
Good World War II movie. Navy. Mr. Roberts.
Strategic Air Command reached number 1, and it's... Oh, wait, hold on. Let's IMDb this, or let's Wikipedia.
Rebel Without a Cause was right up there, too.
You had some other ones that were good in 1955, including Oklahoma. Anyways, Mr. Roberts. So it sounds like we're going to have a repeating year of war and Schwarzenegger.
I'm trying to see, what is this about? I'm trying to figure out what it's about. Oh, it's talking about Mars at the beginning. Mars is colonized. They are working towards that.
There we go.
Oh. So apparently this is science fiction-y. Well, this is a long plot. I don't know what it's about. It was too long and I lost interest. Total Recall.
All right. Well, go to your movie. See if your 2025 is going to be like that. Your 10th birthday, what was the number 1 movie?
Ooh, that should be a poll. For your 10th birthday, what was your number 1 movie? I want to see what was the best one that somebody puts.
Okay.
Although Groundhog Day is pretty good because that's
terrible.
Bad.
It's terrible.
Unless it's what was your most successful year? Then maybe it could be like a Groundhog Day of that year. But otherwise, it's just what this tells me right now is that your year is going to be full of club volleyball, flag football, basketball leagues, refereeing, delivering papers, running a business.
Yeah. Great.
I mean, that's the life you like, though. That's the life you want.
That's the life I lead. Hey, by the way, Lexi, my daughter, just texted me. She said, "Is this real?" I said, and it says, "Easy pass. Final reminder: you have an outstanding toll." She's like, "Is this real?" I'm like, "Oh, geez, no, it's a scam." So I wonder.
He brings that up because I got somebody sent me that, and it was like Texas tag, and I click on it to pay it. I didn't do anything. I just clicked on it and I'm like, wait a minute. I shouldn't have any toll tax. But the thing is they send it to you and it's a little tiny amount. So it's mine was 28 cents. If you don't pay this, we're sending it to collections. But they do it just to scam and get your credit card information because it's 28 cents. I'm just going to go on and pay it. So then I thought I better ask Scott first because I don't feel like this was the website. I remember you had to go to a specific site to pay it. Scott's like, that's a scam.
Yeah. Text tag's not even around anymore. So,
and the funny thing is the number, yeah, it's NTTA, but the number that was used to send me that, I Googled the area code first and I'm like, Dothan, Alabama.
It's interesting because
it's just fake, just a fake number there.
I Googled the area code and it was Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Which one? 213? 310?
No, it was a Southern California, San Diego area. So
mine was Dothan, Alabama. And I'm like, what in the world?
Hometown.
That's where I was born. That's what
crazy.
I'm saying. That was crazy.
That's funny. And this one actually came to her from a email address. BEIZABOEROHX@outlook.com. That's what sent her the message. So
you gotta show her how to figure that out. How can you tell if something's real or not when you click on it?
just text me, I guess. That's what everybody does.
Yeah.
They text me. Well, Pops, good to have you on the show with us today.
Good to be here.
We'll probably have to have you on again. You got lots of stories, and now that we figured out how to set you up, maybe it'll be faster next time.
Anytime.
But
just don't unplug anything. Leave everything set up as is.
Yeah, you don't work there anymore. Just leave it all there and then come back next time.
Come over here. I do my writing here now because I have a microphone, so I can write and transcribe. It'll transcribe it for me. So
you old?
I can't use a keyboard.
You can't type.
That's good. I mean, that's a smart way to do it. Just let it transcribe. Anyways, everybody, thanks for being in with us today. And we will probably have another show maybe like 2 months from now. So just hang in there.
I'm trying, just so everybody knows, I'm trying to tie Scott down to a day, but he will not dedicate himself.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Aloha.
Bye.
Hey, what's up, my channel? Please hit the drop a like and hit the subscribe button. Looking for my first subscriber. Can't subscribe myself. Can't do that for some reason. I don't know why. Wish you could.